It's springtime, and although it doesn't look it because there's still snow on the ground, and we're going to get some snow tomorrow, springtime for me means hammock camping. Switching over some of my lighter weight gear, going ultralight for the summer. I like to sleep in a hammock for several different reasons. The first actually being comfort, not just the lightweight. I sleep much better in a hammock than I do on the ground, and that's just, an added benefit that it's lightweight. So I'm going to show you my setup. It's not the lightest weight setup, but it's what works for me. And everyone's got a different system, so you can't just say, oh, this is the best or this is the best. You have to tailor it to you, and that goes with everything. So I'm going to show you mine, and let's get it set up. So I found a nice location to hang the hammock, and got a little chilly, so I threw on the down jacket. I chose Eagle's Nest Outfitters. Now there's a bunch of different hammock companies out there, or you could even make your own. So make your selection, and like I said, I chose ENO, and I actually like the color. It's nice and kind of blends in with nature. It's low tone, olive drab. They make like 25 different colors that are, some of them are really bright. That's really not me. I like to kind of be low key. I don't want to be obnoxious. ENO comes with slap straps as a way to hang the hammock. And I didn't particularly like them because I think they were too short, a little bit limited. I found when I was going out, setting up the hammock that, sometimes it's a little difficult to find the right set of trees that are, the perfect length across. And then sometimes you'd find them that's a good length, and one of them be a little big, so, the straps wouldn't actually reach the hammock. So what I have is these straps here. Basically I made them myself from some climbing webbing. And I sewed a little loop on the end. So you basically just go around the tree, and these are 9 feet long. So I have 2 straps, 9 feet long. It gives me more options, and it also works with my system. ENO had these steel carabiners on the end, and at first I replaced them with a lightweight, climbing carabiner, but I changed it up a little bit more. Now I have these descending rings, and I loop the strap through there like almost like a belt buckle. And I also have a permanent ridge line to go across. So when I set up the hammock, you get the right amount of sag. And so basically I just go around the tree and go through the little loop there. I've tried a couple different methods, some different accessory cord stuff that's a little bit lighter weight, but I don't want to trade weight for comfort. And I had some accessory cord, and I was kind of sagging a little bit, bouncing, and I didn't really like the feeling when I was in the hammock. I wanted something that was nice and secure, so I got these, it's a 1-inch thick strap, so it's really nice and secure, makes me feel comfortable, helps me sleep better, I guess. As I take the webbing, I pass it through both rings, then back through. So basically like you're doing a belt. Now what I like about this system is it's really easy to adjust. And if you've ever slept in a hammock and you've had one side higher than the other, say your feet or your head, you get either head rush or you slide down in the hammock, and it gets kind of uncomfortable. So you want to make sure you have a nice level hammock, and this system makes it pretty easy. When you have slap straps, you have loops to clip through, and you either clip one or the other. So you can't get it completely level, but with this, you can. So just come down and adjust. Now that you got your hammock level, you want to make sure that these don't move. So what I do is I go back up through the descending rings, And then I come up over here and I just tie a slippery hitch here. So we'll do that on both sides. Once again, we'll go through. Then tie it off. That way it doesn't go anywhere. There you go. Now you got a nice level hammock. And like I said, it's nice and adjustable because, you know, if your trees are really far apart, you have that extra webbing. And if the tree is really big, you have extra webbing to go around the tree, which I found before it can be a problem. Now to go along with the hammock, I also have the ENO Tarp. You guys probably seen this before in my ultralight overnight and when I went up to Lafayette. Basically, the only thing I added to this was 4 stakes. It comes with all the guy wire you need. What's also nice about the tarp is on the end it has these little keepers for the rope, so you can adjust them. That way you don't have to tie a knot. Now what I do with the tarp is I take the wire and I just tie a little knot there to make a loop. So now I got a loop, and I'll loop it around the tree and back through itself. And I do the same thing with the stakes, basically go through and tie a loop. I don't know how well you can see that, but so now I have a little loop on the stake, and I'll stake out the 4 corners. And the 4 corners have those little keepers also. Now I didn't think to bring snow stakes, but these are the stakes I normally use with the tarp. So we'll just have to bury it a little bit. Basically just bring tension. Bring a little tension on it. Alright, now we got the tarp basically all staked out, and I'll just give you a little closer look. So, here's the little knot in the stake, and a little keeper here, and if you need a little tighter, you just basically pull. Basically, it's the same thing on the tarp. So you have the little keeper, and I have a little loop here. Here's a little closer inspection of the loop supporting the hammock, and under here kind of looks like a mess with that knot over there, but if you don't tie that knot, you're gonna sit in the hammock and it's gonna come down. So basically looks like I need to pull that side out a little bit more. We'll do that. Now depending on the weather, if it's really stormy or rainy, you're going to want to bring this tarp down about as close as you can, you know, with still being comfortable, and make sure the sides are pitched, not touching the sides of the hammock, but pretty close, so no rain and no wind blows in at night, so you don't get wet. And make sure also that your hammock is, centered underneath the tarp. And like I was saying before, I chose a hammock because of comfort. I sleep much better hanging between the trees than I have ever done sleeping on the ground. And I've got a couple of different air mattresses, and I've got a couple of different closed-cell foam pads, but nothing can really beat the hammock. And I don't use a sleeping pad in the hammock. Some people choose to, but I don't. And like I said, it's a really good night's sleep. It's a little different, a little getting used to, but once I got comfortable with setting up the hammock and sleeping kind of suspended, it's a much better night's sleep for me. But I think I'm hungry, so let's make some lunch. And one other thing, when you're at camp, now you got yourself a chair. You can sit down and eat. You don't have to bring an extra chair. Something I used to do was bring one of those camp chairs. Now I don't bring that. I got the hammock to sit in. With spring here and summer on its way, I'm definitely looking forward to the warmer weather. That means going ultralight, and the hammock helps me do that, along with the tarp. And another thing that helps is it's nice and compact. It fits in my, this is my my summer bag for multi-day trips. It's 24 liters and it's only 10 ounces. And with the tarp and the hammock, it's nice and lightweight, and compact, and all fits in there with my other gear. So, like I said, definitely looking forward to the warmer weather, getting out and sleeping in the hammock. Well, there's 101 ways to hang a hammock, and this is just one of them. It's what works for me. So let me know what you think. I'm going to go enjoy some lunch and chill out in the hammock.